Kamila, welcome again in the Greenway-startups show and welcome in our studio in New York City.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
We already had an interview with you a couple of weeks and months ago, and I wanted to know what's new with you, what's happening around your business, because I know that you are very, very busy this year, right?
Yeah, very busy. I think I love being busy. So as long as we're smart about it, obviously. Yeah. So I've been launching my mastermind right now. It's my first mastermind. It's a year-long program, so it's more for established entrepreneurs that have been working with clients already, and then my membership site, which I think we talked about a little bit.
Yes.
So it's more for newer entrepreneurs or people that are just trying to learn more about marketing, online marketing and business and things like that. So those are the main two things that I'm focusing on right now, but obviously I have plenty of more things planned in the future as well.
So you mentioned your mastermind program, right? That's a year program.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I mean, tell me the secret, how you can prepare for a year program. Like, how long is, like, what kind of material you need to, and how much time you spend actually preparing for that mastermind?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I've actually, so if it was somebody new that's never done a group program or anything that's, some kind of a length that's longer than 3 or 6 months, then I probably wouldn't recommend for them to jump into 12 months. But because I've done group programs that, they started off 5 months, then 6 months, and 7 months, and I knew at that point if I would like to continue from my perspective. And for me, I love working with people on a consistent basis. Especially, I love to connect with people and actually see that transformation. Because for business, especially, we can get some quick wins that things that might blow up really easily and might make some quick cash. But I think that the thing that separates people that just want to get that quick cash thing right now and then coast for the next one, and the people that actually want to make a big impact and have sustainable growth, the latter are the people that I want to actually work with. And that's what I'm attracting with the mastermind as well. It's people that actually want to truly show their commitment for the full year. And it's definitely not going to be for the people that are kind of not sure if they're going to keep doing this with their business. There's no question for the year-long people from that perspective. But when it comes to from my end, I've done, like I've said, I've done other groups before, and every time I just like being able to connect with them, and I like being able to have that consistent connection from the perspective of having the Facebook group and having the consistent calls, and really making sure that they're actually taking action and not jumping from coach to coach or from course to course, which I think a lot of people tend to fall victim or prey to whatever to the shiny object syndrome, right? And I think that's a big problem when it comes to entrepreneurs and wanting to grow, because we always, we'll see somebody talking about an amazing new thing and it sounds so great, but in reality, it's not going to make any kind of difference for you if you don't do the work. And with this, it's really a matter of putting actual habits in place and putting specific behaviors in place that are getting you to implement and take action and do it consistently and have the support of people that are also doing the same thing. It's not just learning, it's more so taking action, and I believe that it's really hard to make that happen in 3 or even 6 months, because especially for people that are still trying to learn some things. For me, there was a good amount of planning, but because it is a mastermind, it's going to be a lot more customized. So although I know the specific things that I would like to talk about, it's not going to be, there's no set curriculum where, if it's month one I already know what we're going to talk about. But for example, month 2, if people are talking, everybody seems to be talking about launching, for example, and I had on my secret agenda that I wanted to talk about sales funnels, it wouldn't make sense for me to start talking about sales funnels, because it wouldn't be something they would be actually listening to. It'd be kind of like a pointless lesson for them, because they're not ready for it. They're not looking for that. So I think that's a good thing about a mastermind, the way that I'm doing it, is because it is very custom, and it's very much focused on what the people are actually struggling with. So if they, like I mentioned, if they're struggling with a specific thing, that's what we're going to focus on, and the content kind of creates itself from that perspective, which makes it really easy from the prep work.
So it means that you kind of structured your mastermind that you are always like 1 or 2 months before the schedule of the people, and then you basically reacting actively of the needs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of reacting, but then also being proactive from the perspective, like so my method is the blow up, scale up method, where the blow up phase is all about visibility and getting booked out and getting all the clients that you need for your one-on-one or group programs, and really being seen as the go-to expert. So I know that within that area, there are going to be a couple things that I know are going to come up. It's just it's just a matter of the format or the order of when things are going to come up. And then we get into the scale up months, and we basically talk about the funnels and, you know, product creation and advertising and JVs and affiliates and all the other things that allow you to actually leverage your time and make more money without the like having to work with one-on-one clients all the time. So there's, like I said, I named a couple of things within that phase as well, but it's going to be up to the people based on like where they are exactly for me to establish or for me to introduce the specific topics in the right order. But the planning, the proactive is I know what's going to be covered, is just the reactive is when. That's kind of the way that I look at it.
So how is the mastermind structure is set up? Do I mean that, for example, do you have like video content? You have like ebooks, like PDF workbooks?
Yeah. So for the mastermind specifically, I mean, it's really focused on that community and action taking. So although they do receive some trainings, and every month we basically have like a theme. So each month starts off with a training call about some kind of advanced marketing or business strategy that based on what they need. And that's really the main thing that I require them to listen to and learn from, because it's going to be very closely tied to where they are. But I know there's going to be people that are in different areas of their business. So there might be some people that maybe just have started with working with some clients. They have worked with clients, but there's still some areas where they don't feel entirely comfortable, maybe, you know, with list building. Where with list building, I'm not going to talk about too deeply because it's still kind of a foundation, kind of a basic thing. But because of that, I basically just give them my flagship courses where they can take them at their own time. So I give them my list launcher course, the list building course. I'm going to give them my telesummits course, so that, you know, part of what I recommend for visibility is running a telesummit. And they also get access to my membership site, the Marketing Society, where, you know, I constantly release new trainings and things like that. So from the learning perspective and, you know, the ebooks and videos and stuff like that, it's really up to them how they use these resources, but it's a matter of them understanding where they are in business, what specific trainings they need to make that a reality. But typically it's going to be guided by, you know, here's the ultimate goal that we want to achieve. You're not just going to go off and learn all day long and not do anything with that. It has to make sense for where you want to go with business. So it might be nice for somebody to learn about doing Instagram ads, but if it doesn't make sense for their goal to get, you know, booked out with one-on-one clients, you know, you can go and learn that if you want to on your own time, but I'm not going to recommend that you do that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a blend of the two from the format perspective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And so who is actually your ideal client? Your ideal client is someone who already have a couple of clients, who is comfortable having a website, comfortable with list building, good in social media marketing.
Yeah. So it's mostly people that, a lot of them are coaches, consultants, people that like to teach others, some e-commerce, as long as they like the education-based marketing model. And healers, you know, anybody that's more service-based. I have some web designers that have joined and copywriters that have joined as well. So anybody that's service-based and online-based as well, because everything that we do, everything that I do is online-based. So they have been working with clients, and there are a couple of different levels of people. They're the people that have been working with clients really well, and they've been making 5-figure months, and they basically want to make sure that that 5-figure month stays consistent from month to month. So that's one area of people, and they're, you know, doing their business full-time and stuff like that. The other type of person is somebody that's working their 9-to-5 still, and they're making like at least $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 per month, but they want to really make more, and they want to leave their 9-to-5 sometime soon. So it's not somebody that wants to eventually leave the 9 to 5 and they're trying to build up their business. It's somebody that's kind of close, maybe a couple months, away from actually quitting. So I think that's a nice kind of distinction from that end. And the other one is somebody that's been making, 7 or 5K months, and they want to get to their first 5-figure month and keep it consistent from that perspective. So it's kind of different levels, but again, it really shows that it's not making your first $1,000, not making your first, whatever. It's not about making your first anything. It's about really understanding how to build a business that is sustainable, that is actually thriving for you in the way that you want to build it. So you're the CEO, not necessarily the solopreneur, if you will.
So on one hand, you have like the monthly topic that you cover, and then what happens during the month. So people can reach out to you if you have specific problem, or you have a team who are taking care of, or like designers, or if I have a design problem.
Yeah, great question. So, well, for everything from the execution perspective, all the clients or students, they're all doing everything their own. So. Part of what we're going to talk about is team building, where I recommend that they hire, designers or VAs, and most of them I'll recommend that they have VAs during the program as well. But the way that it's formatted is that we actually have 2 levels of engagement. So for people that, they would like to work with me one-on-one, and it's people that have been, I do get a bunch of people that just want to work with me, but they just can't afford it because of my rates. But this is basically like the higher level is the perfect place for people to be able to actually work with me privately, where we have one-on-one calls and we have additional group calls during the month. So it's a lot more intensive from that perspective. So for that level, the month basically looks like we have a monthly training call for everybody in the group. Then the following week, we have a mastermind call specifically with just the people in that level, where we're making sure that they're they're understanding the training and they're sharing their goals and what they've done and what they've accomplished, and what other people in the group recommend for this person to do to get better. So that's kind of that's just the higher level, the platinum level call. Then the following week, the 3rd week, we have an overall like office hours / group coaching call for everybody in the group. Then the last week is usually just implementation. You get some stuff done that you've been trying to work on. For the platinum level too, like I said, they have 1 monthly call with me as well. So they can schedule that anytime within the month. So that's an additional kind of support. And then on top of that, for everybody, there is a Facebook group where I'm always very active. People probably get annoyed by how active I am, but I'll call people out if they haven't posted in a while. Like, I haven't heard from you in a little while. Like, what have you been doing lately? Let's hear it. So I'm very active in the Facebook group, and I recommend that they really treat it as not just a Facebook group, but like their home for actually getting support and posting what has been successful, what hasn't been successful, so other people can learn. I really approach it from the perspective that everybody has something to contribute, and this is a place for them to basically like literally mastermind together. It's not for them to come and ask me all the questions so that they're just learning. It's a matter of really stepping into that leadership role, and every single person that's in there is a leader. And when they're able to come in and actually come in from the support perspective and giving value to other people based on what they've done or what they've learned, that's really the community that I'm building from there. But throughout each month, I'm going to be doing like office hours, kind of random office hours. If somebody has, obviously people are going to have questions that they're going to tag me in and ask for my feedback in between the calls. And thankfully we have Facebook Live now, where we can do Facebook Lives in the Facebook groups. So my plan is to do just kind of spontaneous Facebook Lives to answer the questions that come up in the Facebook group as well.
Yeah, it's good that you brought up the Facebook Live, because I think you do it actively, right?
Yeah.
How does it go?
Yeah, I love Facebook Live. I actually started doing Periscope first when it came out, and it's kind of funny about Periscope because I stopped doing it because I was just getting so many notifications, so I turned off the notifications. And when you turn off the notifications, you forget the Periscope exists. So then a couple of months later, I'm like, oh right, there's this Periscope thing that I totally forgot about that. And when I would try to do Periscope again, all the people that have followed me, I have over 1,000 people that were following me on Periscope. Apparently all these people no longer use Periscope, because I would get like barely people that would be watching my stuff. I'm like, okay, this is pointless. Like, what's the point of building up this community and working so hard to build up this community on Periscope, and then people obviously do exactly what I did, where they got tired of the notifications, so they probably forgot that it exists, right? Forgot to keep checking. And then Facebook Live came into the area, it's into the scene, and I thought it was really cool. And the main reason why I think it's cool is because my people tend to use Facebook a lot. And I'm on Facebook all the time. You know, a part of my business is running Facebook ads for clients, so I can't not be on Facebook all the time, right? Yeah. And it's a really cool way for people to, you know, still connect with me, have that live stream experience where they see me, you know, just talk off the cuff and be really transparent and kind of like, here's what I'm doing. And the chat thing is still there. But the good thing about Facebook is that these videos actually stay on your feed. It's not something that disappears within 24 hours, and people don't need to download anything additional in order to watch it. And people, let's be honest, everybody's on Facebook, right?
Yeah,
so it's really hard not to see somebody's live. And Facebook obviously is competing with everybody out there. So when it comes to getting seen on people's news feeds, you know, your Facebook Lives actually get seen a lot more. They show up higher on the search result, or not the search result, but the news feed. So if they're helping you out, why not use it, right?
Another question, we kind of covered the mastermind, but what about the membership side? I know it's like recently started, maybe you started it in May?
I started really recently, yeah, and it was the main reason why I started the membership site. It's called hashtag Blow Up Online Marketing Society, and the main reason I started is because I know a lot when it comes to marketing, but it doesn't always fit into, you know, me creating a whole new course. I don't necessarily want to have a million courses that are all teaching things and selling everything. I think it can get a little, you know, a little confusing from that end, and because I tend to work with people that are not completely brand new. When it comes to my one-on-one and even some of the courses that I release, I felt like I was putting a lot of money on the table by not addressing those people, because I was getting a lot of these people on my list regardless. I would get emails from people trying to start their businesses and trying to get them off the ground, or trying to get their, you know, first couple of clients, or, you know, using social media in more strategic ways. And it was too basic or foundational for me to talk about with my one-on-one clients, because it's not my favorite thing to do when it comes to one-on-one. Because I think that you can just learn it, right? So the membership site started because I wanted to basically still have something to offer for the people that are newer in business, where, you know, I have all the trainings when it comes to marketing and business and, you know, positioning and all these different areas. That's still very meaty, and a lot of it comes from my actual higher paid programs. So just, you know, taking some pieces from there and actually putting them in there. A lot of it has to do with list building and things like that. So from there, it actually grew into having more advanced people that just needed support specific around marketing, because you can be in business for several years but still not be so great at marketing, especially online, because it's, you know, for a lot of people it's still a little bit of a wild beast. It does change all the time. So this is it was basically a place for me to, you know, share the different trainings around, you know, whatever they felt like they needed to kind of get more learning and get more experience in. So I was able to get, you know, the newer people, but then also the people that just wanted that extra learning from that perspective. But yeah, it's been going great so far. So I really enjoy the experience from there.
You also mentioned you have one-on-one clients. So how does it work? So what actually happening there? So what I'm trying to get that, do you basically have to implement exact strategies for your clients, or you do actually the work on their behalf? Or
no, so the only thing that we do as a done for you, like where we do it for them, is the Facebook ads and Instagram ads. That's the more kind of agency model where I have, you know, a team that supports me with that. But the thing that I tend to focus on with my one-on-one clients, which I'm not taking on anymore one-on-one because I'm just focusing on my mastermind when it comes to one-on-one, except VIP days, I guess. But for the people that I already have on board when it comes to one-on-one, it's basically I support them around the strategy of what they're doing and showing up online, whether that's, you know, mapping out their funnels, or how they're going to be growing their lists to get more clients, or, you know, when they're launching a new product, like what is that product and how does that launch look like. So it's a lot of the strategy and specific content that they're going to be sharing, and like wording and that kind of stuff. They're the ones putting things into action. The only things that we support them with are the Facebook ads.
I see. So basically when you have the done-for-you solution, when we talk about done-for-you services, then basically your focus is on the Facebook ads.
Yeah, just the Facebook ads, yeah. That's exactly it.
And I also seen previously when someone goes to your website, you see that they see that also you have a Pinterest training, right?
Yeah.
So was it like a hobby for you or something you were passionate about and you moved on to Facebook ads, or?
Well, Pinterest is more like just a social media channel for traffic. It's probably the biggest traffic generation platform for me currently, and it has been for several years, even from my previous businesses that I had. So I was getting a lot of questions. The training that I have, it's not really a course, it's a workshop. So it's basically, because I was getting a lot of people asking me questions about that, and people that are not quite ready for, or they want to supplement their Facebook ads, because I run Facebook ads, and I think it's good to have a couple of different streams of traffic coming into your site and not just relying on advertising. And Pinterest is a good place for you, especially if you have some kind of a business that especially is great for women, because there's a lot of women on Pinterest. Majority of them are women. It's a really nice way to continue getting more traffic. And I basically break down the process that I use to use Pinterest as a really great traffic generation source. And it's there as a passive income product that's kind of there. It's also part of my membership site that people can get. It's part of my funnel. So
yeah, but exactly that. Now that you mentioned, I didn't know that your main focus is the Facebook advertisement actually, but it's also like very closely linked to sales funnels, right? The complete procedure, because you have to opt in people, you have to follow up with the marketing campaign and so on. So the rest, the complete sales funnel procedure, you basically teach it, but you are not implementing for your clients.
I don't always teach it per se. I think teaching is pretty difficult too. I'll map it out for them, but I won't implement it for them. So when it comes to the platform and actually putting the pieces together within Infusionsoft, I'm not the person that does it. I can recommend someone to do it for them, but or they can do it themselves. But this is typically what I do, either in my one-on-one ongoing or my VIP days are typically the ones for that. Is they come in with a solution or with a problem, and they want to, for example, make more money, or they want to fill out their one-on-ones and then launch a program and then have, just sales funnels in place that are making money on a passive kind of basis. So during a VIP day, we would basically map everything out exactly how it would look like. And I'm usually, obviously, since that's my expertise, so that I'll map it out, let's just say. But I get their support when it comes to what do you have in place and that kind of stuff. But then afterwards, they are the people that are, they're the person that's actually going into their active campaign, Infusionsoft, Ontraport, whatever it is that they're using, and putting these things into place, writing the emails and that kind of stuff. But the strategy and knowing exactly what to say within the emails and how it flows, that's already done. So I guess it's kind of a done for you, but it's not, because they don't necessarily walk away with a ready to, they just have to drive traffic. They actually still have to put these things into play. And, we were kind of considering adding that as a thing to add to the done for you side. It might still be something that we do in the future, just not something that we do right now.
So what's trending right now in Facebook ads?
Well, what's trending right now? Videos are definitely trending. I think video ads they can be really popular and successful if they're done right, but there's a lot of testing that has to happen, and because there's so much testing, people don't always have time to test the actual content of the video. So it's not something for everybody. Something that I've seen work really well, especially for B2C, have been Instagram ads. So I actually don't use Instagram that often. I always try to, but it's just not my platform. But from the ad side, it can be really great. Not for everybody, but for B2C, for people that have more of a visual, not even necessarily a visual brand, but just people that are talking to people that are already on Instagram. It can be really successful, and sometimes more successful than Facebook. For example, I had a client that was a wedding planning mentor, and she was launching a course about wedding planning for people that just wanted to DIY the wedding planning process. And we were running ads for her opt-in to get into the funnel to get into the launch sequence, basically, because she was launching. And we were doing A/B testing. One was for Facebook and one was for Instagram. And Although both were fairly inexpensive, the Facebook was converting at under $2, like $1 or something. We've had Instagram ads that were performing at 50 cents per lead, and it was the same exact ad. It was just, obviously it was a square. But it's really interesting because it's not something that I see for like the business coach clients, because I have a lot of business coach clients. I don't see that often for the business, like the B2B kind of side. And I've been doing ads for myself to test things out too, and I find them to be more expensive for business, and it makes sense because people don't really go on Instagram to look at business stuff. Like that's rarely the case. Yeah. They want to, it's kind of similar as Pinterest without the search capability, where they're looking to kind of get inspired and look, oh, this is cute, this is cool, and not necessarily like to learn per se. So it's a different kind of behavior. And I think for any platform that you use, you have to really understand the intent that people have when they're browsing that platform. Why are they on that platform? What do they want to accomplish by being there? And if it's somebody that's just kind of, browsing through, it's probably not going to perform as well if they're just, just looking for the sake of looking. But if it's, like I said, wedding planning or style or beauty or, pets or, anything that is natural to be seen on Instagram can work really well. So that's what I've seen. I know it's kind of separate from Facebook ads, but it's still done through the Facebook ad platform.
So what do you think, what is the minimum budget someone needs to start out?
For an ad?
For an ad.
For Facebook ads, I recommend nothing less than $250 per campaign. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the more the better, because
is it with A/B testing already included, or?
I mean, yeah, you can still test within that. It really depends. I have some clients that start out with $250 per campaign, just because they don't have more to to include and invest in ads. So that's fine. I think anything below $250 is not worth your time, to be honest, because there is that testing period where you're going to spend a little bit extra money in the beginning.
And of course you have to test the landing page at the
right. There's a lot of things that you have to test. Yeah. And this is so this is a good, you brought up the funnel actually. So this is for something that you have tested already usually. If you're driving ads to a webinar, or if you're driving traffic to, I don't know, even a funnel that you've had before and you were able to get, some proof that it works, that's what I would say. For something that has not been tested whatsoever, it's obviously a lot more, because there's a lot of things that you have to test, a lot of, like the landing page. Before the landing page can be done, there's a lot of things that needs to happen, and the sales funnel itself, and that how long the sales funnel is. If somebody's going through a 2-week sequence, you're not actually going to know until at least 2, 3, 4 weeks later if the funnel actually converts, right? Because if they go through the entire thing from the more kind of parallel perspective. But.
So Kamila, if you work one-on-one, if someone wants to work with you one-on-one, or either to join to the membership or to the mastermind program, what is the best way to do that? To contact you on Facebook or check out your website, or?
Probably either send me a message or just contact me through my website. My one-on-one spots are probably booked by now for ongoing, but my VIP days are open depending on where you want to do them. We do them all across the U.S., so a lot of them are in New York City, but we have several other places as well throughout the U.S. And we can chat about whichever one feels like the best fit, because you might think it's a good fit, but it might not be. And I'm very upfront about if I think it's a good spend of your investment of your time and money as well. So.
Thank you, Kamila. It was really great to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And wish you much luck and for the mastermind that you are launching, and also for the membership program.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.